And if we check out the comp, we can see that we're right up against the Kirby, the lower part of this Kirby. We're starting to taper off volume, and we can see it move up to 3040, which also coincides with the kumo area. Okay, so if we see these candles moving up within a week or so, reaching this area and find resistance along this lower span A, as we turn up, span A could get back up above span B, and we'll get a kumo twist. Note the MACD. We had a crossover, have some nice momentum, and stochastics is at the midline, and we have a good bit of room to move higher. Note the point and figure resistance level here at 29.75, and then of course this level up here that we pointed out previously. Noting on the New York advanced decline that we're quickly approaching the zero line, and this being June here, we can see we're up to the June low. When we crossed over the zero line, we had a nice move higher. So let's watch what happens here at the zero line, while we also watch the NYSE, where we're currently in the kumo. We have Tikin making a nice move upward. We're through Kijun-sen, and note where Chico is. We want to see Chico get above price to signal that this is going to continue. But note the volume is tapering off. So that's the one caveat, this lower volume, which we haven't seen in this past 8 months. Anything like that, where we had a move of this magnitude and volume tapering off like it is on Friday. Of course, Friday was a half a day, so that could be significant in some respects. Note a lower volume here the previous week. Also note the MACD. We had a nice cross, much like the NASI and the comp, as well as the momentum on the stochastics. The Russell, same thing here. Note where Chico is. It's stuck in the kumo, and we have a ways to go before we get back above price. But we do have a Kijun cross, we have Tinkin turning north, we have MACD cross, and stochastics has room to move higher. No guarantees that we will, it's just saying that's what the chart says at this point. I could see a likely target of a move up to kumo, and then a move lower to catch either Chiku catch either Tikin or Kijun-sen. Note TSX, the Toronto Exchange, is doing a bit better. Chiku is pretty close to getting above price. We're almost out of kumo for your Canadian traders. MACD cross and stochastics looks better actually on this chart. Just remember the Toronto Exchange has a lot of oil related stocks, commodity related stocks as well on it. So if you're thinking about trading commodities or oil, etc., keep an eye on TSX. Also note the volume. Note the dollar in the day, a MACD bear cross. We really broke down substantially. We did hold Tikin-sen. Okay, let's watch for a move lower when futures open. Also note the MACD and stochastics. Note also the euro. We have a kumo breakout. I'd like to see some follow through. It looks like we're going to get a Kijun cross. Chiku is about to emerge. We have a MACD cross here, and also you can see the strength of this stochastic move is pretty notable. So keep an eye on that. We've got these highs up here where we can see some resistance or a breakout up to this next level up here at 132.50, 133. Okay, momentum is definitely on the side of the euro, and it all depends on the news that Spain, Italy, and the other countries, okay, in the eurozone that are having issues with their debt. Note the Japanese yen, the weakness that we've seen here, way oversold. Is it time for a bounce? I would say it's pretty close. I'd be watching the US dollar Japanese yen cross, the pair, okay? And of course the way you could do that is following DBV, which is broken out. We pointed this out last Sunday, where we saw that if we took these highs out, it would be good for the markets. This is a reflection of the carry trade. See MACD is floating around horizontally. Stochastics is overbought. So I'd keep an eye out on DBV. 20-year bonds, we can see kumo just below price. We can see Ticken is starting to flatten out, could possibly turn down. MACD, we had a bearish cross, and you can see the histogram is starting to turn negative with stochastics pointing down pretty strongly. Volume is tepid, but we could see some further weakness in this pattern if you draw. Now you can see a inverted in head and shoulders here. Similar high, but not a new high. So I'll be watching this for a move lower. The UST is in this range, moving a little bit lower. Keep an eye on that as well. You can extend this trend line out. This could be a bounce area. NYMO, we can see that we had quite a move off of this low of 92.31 up to 50. This is an area where we have to show some trepidation and a move higher, and possibly look for a reversal, especially if you consider this point and figure level here at 1404 that we hit. We've gone a little bit through. We have kumo just a bit higher, but what I'm watching for is a move like so, and then a take out that low, similar to what we did in June, where we hit this low, we moved up to a point and figure low, support and resistance level, and then we moved back down, created a new low, and then we had this nice move up into September, where we had this Fed announcement for QE3 on the 13th of September. So watch for that possibility, a reversal here, a move back down. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you have to consider it. So that's what I'm watching. If we do manage to make it through this area, I'm going to see some resistance up in this level, point and figure support and resistance, as well as this confluence area where we have kumo. Note that it is a thin area, so that prices move up over the next week, we can conceivably see a move through that and take out these highs. But I am very cautious right now, only taking scalps and short swings. Okay, these are stocks that could conceivably make things a little bit more difficult for the bears. Note that this move down, that the ADX peaked very sharply, signifying that the downtrend is in. We're right at the 200 period, and note where this Kirby is. Okay, so we could see a short-term 8 period, 20 period cross. We could see that turn to a bullish cross on the other averages. We're moving off the lower Bollinger Band. Typically, you could see this as an upper Bollinger Band target at the 620, 615 area. But we have to take out the 50 period as well. So watching this reversion to mean trade currently. A lot of people took this trade on GTO's comments last Friday, the previous Friday I should say, where we saw some 62 points that he got out of this particular trade. Also watching Google for similar type of continuation move. Okay, MACD cross. Stochastics is turning a bit, but could straighten out. Lower volume. But we have a lower Bollinger Band, we have an upper Bollinger Band, we have a 20 and the 8 period cross, and we have the 50 period between us and the upper Bollinger Band. So I could see this as a target area. Nice little flag here, consolidation on Google. Note the Kirby up in this area too. Note Amazon, lower Bollinger Band, upper Bollinger Band. This is what I'm talking about on Google and Apple. Same thing could happen here. Note what happened when we got into the Kirby above this level here. Also note the strength of the stochastic move and the MACD cross. MACD is saying, if this continues, MACD is saying that this could embed up here for quite some time. So if you follow me, the idea is that once you get overbought, if you're following MACD and you get a cross and you get a substantial move up, this could signal a embedding of the stochastics and further momentum to the upside. Alright, so watch these two. I use these two together for that purpose. Also note RSI. IBM, same thing. Note the Kirby up here. Note the upper Bollinger Band coming into view. The 50 period. Note the increase in volume. We were trading this particular position in the chat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe. Sunrise Trader and a couple other people. MACD cross. This looks really good. Obviously, I wouldn't chase it here. I mean, you missed the trade. It was off at Friday's low. EMC. Note RSI at 50. Note the upper Bollinger Band. That's confluence of moving averages. Tapering off of volume. Stochastics moving higher. And we got a MACD cross. Okay, this is cloud space. Storage. Note the Kirby levels up here. If you're thinking about trading this, I would say that we're probably going to run into some resistance here. This very large Kirby volume bar and the moving averages and the upper Bollinger Band in this area. Note price line is almost above the Kirby level here. Upper Bollinger Band within sight, above all the moving averages. Stochastics turned around and went north. Note CRE here at highs. Got a nice little reversal on Friday. Stochastics turning up, lower volume. MACD looks like it wants to turn. Note on balance volume is pretty high. Chiku is above price. First Solar. Note we're hovering above the 50 level. We're in this ascending triangle pattern. We have both Tenkan and Kijin. We have Chiku above price, and we're above the Kumo. Looks like it wants to do something, so I'd be keeping an eye on this one. First Solar. Note CF Industries. Stochastics has got into overbought territory, but we have a nice MACD moving on up, so keep an eye on that. We have the Kumo. We tend to think we'd pause here, perhaps flag and then move higher, and then I'd be looking for this level up here, 226, 227 as a next target. CRM speaks for itself. You can see where we're at 70 RSI. Had a really nice Kumo breakout, a nice flag now. I expect this possibly to move sideways. Note the really sharp move in MACD. Stochastics is overbought, but could embed considering the MACD. Also note on balance volume. Really nice trade on GTO's part last week. With this, Apple, Amazon, I don't know if he was in Google, I forget, but a lot of good trades. Also note AdTran. We need to see a move above Kumo, but Stochastics is moving higher, and MACD looks good. Noting the spiders that we traded through, gapped up and gap and go. We're touching Chiku, or excuse me, the Kumo, so keep an eye on that. Chiku is above the Kumo, and we have to get through price. I would tend to think that we'd come up to price and then bounce off of it and move a little bit lower. We have this Kirby volume up here that we need to consider as well. So AutoZone's looking decent. We got this flag off this Kumo bounce that we put in last week. When I say last week, I mean the previous week. CVX is looking good. Obviously the trade was down here on Monday, being the Friday candle Monday, and we had this gap and go. So I wouldn't be chasing it now, but it still looks good if you're still holding. STEC, this is one of GTO's. Note the Kirby volume here. Alright, we don't have resistance till we get up to the Kumo, and around the 675, 650, 675 area. We already made it through Tenkan. Looks like Tenkan wants to move higher. Chiku's headed higher as well. We had some really nice volume this past week. This is one of GTO's watch list trades. Symantec, another GTO trade. Note the Kumo breakout. Chiku's above price. This looks really good. Remember, Comp is doing well. Note that we're above the Kirby. This all looks really good. We had this bounce off of span B. Down at 1725, 1738. So we're a buck away from that. There's a possibility we could break higher. I'd be watching this pattern and look for some resistance here. If we move higher, that might be a trigger for the second entry. Just take a look at your stochastics as well, where MACD is crossing over the zero and stochastics is still pointing higher. ETR, we got a kumo breakout on Friday's low volume half day. Watch the Kirby up here. Note where Chiku is above price and just emerging from kumo. Note stochastics is oversold, could embed with MACD pointing higher. Okay. And let's keep an eye on crude oil as well. Okay, we're battling with Kijin right now. We could see a TK cross. We got Kumo just above. MACD's floating higher, but we had a cross on the stochastics on Friday. Alright, that's it for me. Remember to follow the big names and see where they're going. Remember to use your stops, and I hope this helped. See you in the chat. Take care.